After episode 3, I thought D&D ruined the entire series, but after watching episode 4, they totally redeemed themselves. Just kidding, of course. The series remains ruined after episode 3, and episode 4 was hot garbage. Worst episode of the nightmare that is season 8.
Really feel strongly about storytelling, character arcs, and foreshadowing. That's our specialty.
So, this was probably the most forgettable episode of the shit show that is Season 8, which is kind of amazing considering that another dragon died, yet it's still that forgettable. R.I.P. Rhaegal, named after Jon Snow, a.k.a. Aegon Targaryen's real daddy. Poor dragon barely escaped episode 3 and got sniped by a fleet of ships that were hiding behind a mountain in the sea and stuff. Even though dragons are magical and flying high up in the sky, they couldn't sense or see a fleet of ships because those sneaky ships were hiding behind a mountain, poking up with water all around it, and it was a really clear day. I might think that was ridiculous and random, but I saw episode 3 last week, and I understand the D&D vibes.
Really feel strongly about storytelling, character arcs, and foreshadowing. That's our specialty.
By the way, to anybody out there that wants to say Melisandre's eye color talk was some kind of meaningful foreshadowing of what was to come, what about the whole Stannis being Azor Ahai and sacrificing his daughter thing, and how Melisandre didn't exactly have a noteworthy track record for predicting stuff, and how D&D didn't even decide Arya would kill the Night King at that point? It wasn't deep, meaningful, or cool in any way.
Really feel strongly about storytelling, character arcs, and foreshadowing. That's our specialty.
Dany's fleet gets stealth attacked in the ocean, and Missandei somehow gets captured. Then Missandei is beheaded. Yawn. Honestly, at this point, what character do you really like on this show? Who are you rooting for? I honestly don't care about anyone on the show at this point. They've been slowly making Daenerys less and less likable over the years. She's determined to be the queen of a land she never knew, and she doesn't particularly like. She's down to one dragon, and all of her original forces have dwindled down to being meh. She's just an arrogant person at this point. Jon Snow has truly lived up to knowing nothing. He decided to reveal to Arya and Sansa who he really is, even though it's in direct conflict to Daenerys being the undisputed monarch, which he is supposedly in favor of. He decided to confide in them right after they blatantly told him they don't trust his judgment and they don't like Daenerys. To top things off, Jon barely gives any F's about Ghost, his trusty Dodge. He's like, yeah, why don't you take him with you to the Ultra North? He'll be happy up there because I'm going to the South now. It's the equivalent of someone who abandons their pet because they have to move. My new place doesn't take pets. It's your freaking Dodge, man. That's supposed to be for life. He didn't even pet Ghost before he left. He just looked at him, and Ghost was in pretty bad shape at the time. Jon didn't even clean his wounds or anything. Lost serious respect for Jon Snow on that one. Sansa is just calculating all the time. She has a right to be emotionally screwed up at this point, but do I care what happens to her now? Not really. I flat out don't care what happens to Arya or Bran either. They turned both of them into extreme weirdos. Arya is a bit less weird than Bran, but she's still not that relatable. Jaime is a serious flake. He flaked on his daddy, then he flaked on Cersei. Now he flakes on Brienne after slipping her the hot beef injection a few times. Shameful. Way to treat a 40-year-old who gave you her V-card, brah, especially when you're dumping her for your twin sister. Any idea what that's gonna do to her self-esteem? Tyrion was one of the coolest characters on this show. Now he just rambles and acts all concerned and conflicted, but doesn't express anything meaningful, raising his eyebrows all the time for no reason. Okay, just raise your eyebrows again, because it conveys a lot of storytelling.
Really feel strongly about storytelling, character arcs, and foreshadowing. That's our specialty.
And the way Bronn confronted Tyrion and Jaime. Okay, Brawny boy, you literally punched a drunk dwarf in the nose, you rat, and then shot a bolt a few inches away from a crippled dude's head. I need riches! Whatever, man. Cersei, lol. Obviously no one cares about her. Who else is there? Yara? Live on, sis. Varys? Character petered out years ago on the show. Sad what they did to him and Littlefinger over the years. Remember when they were super cool? Tormund is still cool and he's going back to the real north, so that's great, but like, yeah. Even Samwell is fairly annoying at this point. I read books and I'm with Gilly. All of those seasoned warriors got annihilated by the army of the dead, but somehow Sam made it out of that by laying on his fat ass, petrified and punching air. Super believable. So what's the audience supposed to want now? I want fill in the blank to be the king/queen. Yes, that will really satisfy me. Who is going to be the monarch of this place that is decimated, that no one cares about anymore? Here's some of my predictions for the show. Clegane Bowl is coming. King's Landing will splode. Arya will kill Cersei as Jaime. Jon will be king and Dany will die. Then Arya will kill Jon and wear his face for unknown reasons. Sansa will be Queen of the North. Drogon will die, but at some point we're going to see 3 dragon eggs somewhere, and that's supposed to mean something. Episode 5 is going to be an amazing war that took 333 days and nights in the worst weather on the face of the earth in all of history to film, and at the cost of $5 zillion. Television history and stuff. Episode 6 will be a lot of empty fan service to the dumbest of fans and super shocking moments, perhaps involving Arya jumping out of the sky to kill a major character at the last second. Or maybe they'll make someone else jump out of the sky this time. Maybe a character will take off their mask and be Arya, then take off another mask and it'll be someone else under there. I sense some serious Scooby-Doo mask reveals in episode 6. All of a sudden, some character will have White Walker eyes and then creepy music to close everything out. Oh my gooses, how riveting! To keep it 100, I am kind of thankful to D&D at this point.
I really feel strongly about storytelling, character arcs, and foreshadowing. That's our specialty.
I'm really thankful for them killing the story before it's technically over, because I won't miss the show as much. It's already dead to me. With this much time invested, I will watch the next 2 episodes anyways, but I'm just going through the motions at this point. If everything was super good until the end, I'd be all sad and empty missing the show and thinking of all the great times and whatnot. Now I literally don't give a shit. Notice how George Martin hasn't really said much about what's going on these days. You know he hates D&D so much right now. Another positive point in all of this, George's rage may be just the thing to push him over the edge to finish the last 2 books in record time and have more creative input in the next shows they're going to develop for HBO. One can only hope, you know?
I really feel strongly about storytelling, character arcs, and foreshadowing. That's our specialty.
That feel when a dragon randomly dies because of a stealth attack by a fleet of ships on a clear day.